Hey guys, welcome to another top 5 video. As promised, today I'm bringing you the top 5 best factions of Rome 2 in online battles. I made 2 separate lists for campaigns and battles because the differences are simply too big. A good faction in campaign might be terrible in multiplayer battles and also the other way around. The top 5 factions in campaigns video is already out, so you can check that one out first by clicking the screen right now. Let's take a look at the top 5 best factions in multiplayer right now. There are no honorable mentions, and that is simply because there are not a lot of factions to choose from, so I decided to just pick 5 of them. There are factions who are also really good, of course. Please keep in mind that this does not mean that these factions are the only good ones. You can pretty much win with every faction when you're a good player. Now let's get straight into the list. So the number 5 spot belongs to Galatia, and this faction was picked by Connor Gleason. This is obviously a barbarian faction that became available in the Caesar in Gaul campaign pack. Players who have played online battles will know that barbarian sword rushes are currently the most powerful strategy in the game. Galatia is in here because of this. They have the tools that make them one of the best barbarian factions for sword spams. This is mostly due to the following units. Levy Freemen were extremely cheap for a unit with javelins. Some people even think this is the best unit in the game because of their price combined with the javelins. Galatian Raiders are a great hybrid missile unit, and they have also access to the Eastern Cappadocian Cavalry and Syrian Archers. Last but not least, they have Galatian Legionaries, a good, kind of cheap sword unit that's really good to rush your opponent basically. A very good all-round barbarian faction, however there are more factions with more tools who are just a little bit better later in the list. Number 4 is going to Parthia, picked by the Learned Soldier. Parthia is a difficult faction in multiplayer and can only be powerful when played by an experienced player. They have extremely powerful tools in multiple departments, but all of these units are very hard to use. For example, Parthia is able to bring the best cavalry to the field. Royal Cataphracts are amazing in combat, but very hard to use effectively because of their mobility. The Horse Archers are also excellent, but these type of units require some micromanagement. Besides their extremely strong cavalry, they also have decent infantry. Parthian swordsmen will beat Tauric sword, and their hoplites and missile units are also very cost effective to bring to the field. As said, an experienced player can destroy opponents with the Parthian cavalry, and this is why it got to the number 4 spot on this list. Now we're getting to the big boys. The number 3 spot belongs to Rome, picked by Pavel Gregan. Rome is probably the only civilized faction which can handle sword spams. Roman infantry is extremely cost effective and is very versatile and easy to use. The most powerful cohorts are Evocati cohort and Armored Legionaries. These guys are simply amazing all round, but the Romans also have a lot of tools to back them up. Decent cavalry, good skirmishers, decent spear infantry even, and even elephants. The Romans are just very powerful and cost effective, however they can be overrun by a well executed barbarian sword rush. In my opinion, Rome is also the easiest faction to use in multiplayer. It is very hard not to get kills with Roman infantry. They will do well in every engagement, while barbarian infantry is a bit harder to use sometimes. Definitely belongs on the number 3 spot. Number 2 is going to Tillis, picked by Lord Gaming. Tillis is one of the most powerful factions in terms of sword rushes. They have units which are capable to just overrun the enemy, but they also have some tools in other departments. Tribal warriors are a barbarian sword unit with amazing armor, and they are very cost effective. Galautian infantry are very good flanking units, they are fast and have a very good attack rating. Tillis also has access to raiding cavalry, one of the most useful cavalry units in multiplayer. This is a skirmish cavalry unit, however they are still able to hold their own in a melee engagement, so that makes them extremely versatile and handy to use. The Tillis are just very good in terms of sword spams, which is the most powerful strategy right now, and that's why it ended on the number 2 spot. So, the best faction in Rome 2 multiplayer is by far the Boii, picked by Clemens Riekert. The Boii is by far the most powerful faction because they simply are the best faction for barbarian sword rushes. This is due to a couple of units. First of all, sword followers. This is probably one of the most cost effective and powerful units in the game. They aren't very expensive and able to beat even elite units. If you bring a core of these guys, backed up by Heavy Horse, Levy Freeman and Oathsworn, you can simply overrun your enemy and kill him quickly. Barbarian sword spams are basically the best strategy in Rome 2 multiplayer, and the boy AI are simply the best at it, and that's why they ended on the number 1 spot on this list. Hopefully you enjoyed today's list. Next time I will be doing the top 5 best missile infantry units in Total War Rome 2. Post your picks in the comment section for a chance to be featured in one of these videos. Thanks for watching and I will see you all next time. Bye bye.